day are alive and well in many ways, and that's not going away.
This is the North American Service broadcasting on 17.70, 15.42, 12.05.
How you will worship her together.
What have you done to its eyes?
The next time you're frightened in the dark, don't scream.
They are not what they claim to be.
You're listening to Radio.
And we are recording.
Hello?
Oh my god. Hello?
I haven't heard you for like 10 seconds.
I just said we're recording, and then you were totally quiet. And then
I was saying don't turn me up.
Oh, I know. I heard you say that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it was silent.
And then I didn't turn you up.
Yeah, all I knew that happened is I said, no, don't turn me up. And then it was silent. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. I turned you up so
Come
loud
back.
that I died.
Oh yeah, it was too loud. Blew your brains out.
Shut up, stupid. Stupid thing to say. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die from that. Anyways.
I did.
Anyways. I mean, I guess this could be just... Wow. I guess this is...
What?
Oh my God.
What
I
happened?
guess I just can't talk. I guess this could just be our opening, our introduction, but probably not. I don't know.
I mean, if you want.
Sure. I don't know. Why not? I mean, who cares?
I can do an opening for you.
You want to do an opening for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
And he goes, there she is. The almost birthday girl. Yeah. That's it. That's the open.
That's your LONGLEGS
That's the whole
impression?
intro. I don't think I could do that voice.
I don't even know. Like it's
It's so... It's like... I don't know how to do it.
I don't know. I need to think. Hold on.
You
Well,
have to
I
be
guess
demon possessed.
It's like I don't know. Affectation is specific and a voice that I can't imitate.
Yeah. At work, I'll talk about it later, but at work all the time I go, Mommy!
What? Do it again. What?
Mommy! Daddy! Like when he's screaming in the car.
Yeah.
So good. There's going to be spoilers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Welcome to Evil Airwaves. I'm here with Mummy.
I'm here with Daddy.
Oh. Mummy. Okay. Look, you guys, listen. Listen and look, you guys. We are here. It's 10:30. We tried to record a couple days ago. We couldn't. Now we're recording now. I'm about to be on a plane to go to Montana. And Dom is about to be, I don't know, living the high life.
I'm going to do dishes tomorrow.
Dishes?
I have the day off. Is that?
Yeah. I'm going to clean tomorrow. Yeah, for sure.
Right arm.
Right arm. Okay. Well, yes. We, welcome to, I don't know. What the fuck am I saying?
What do you got? I know you have updates from the last things that we talked about.
Yeah, we do. We do have updates going on. So last, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Colorado shoe thing that happened where that guy found all those shoes in the pond and nobody was talking about it. So we do have more updates about that. Basically, the pond has been totally excavated and flattened. There was this situation where they had found all these shoes and they thought maybe it was attached to some sort of like missing people and murders because they found 13 pairs of shoes, according to Levi, the guy who discovered the shoes. But basically, they excavated everything. They flattened the fucking pond. I think someone's driving by in the fucking motorcycle, fucking honky ass.
Damn.
It's like if you're going to drive by, then just drive by. Fucking lame ass. So
Honky tonk, bitch.
honky tonk badonkadonk on your fucking stupid little motorcycle.
Oof.
So 13 pairs of shoes. They also found a brassiere.
A brassiere?
Yeah. And they found a couple more shirts, a fake fingernail, and a headband and a license plate. But, you know, they're not really saying that any of this is connected to anything. They didn't find any evidence of human remains. So they're like, okay, well, this isn't a dumping ground, but they still have like officially categorized the items as being suspicious. So the detectives said that they want to wrap up their investigation by August 5th, which is literally tomorrow. So tomorrow, like, yeah, literally tomorrow. And, but they haven't guaranteed that timeline. So that's pretty much that. They said that they're going to put out a final statement, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. 'Cause
They better have something to say tomorrow.
I really hope they do too. I mean, I feel like if it's bad, then they won't have anything to say at all, and they'll come back to it. But
True.
So far, you know, I have a feeling that they're going to say the same thing that they have been saying, which is, yes, lots of women get killed and murdered and dumped in this area of fucking in West Mesa, but all of these suspicious items have nothing to do with that, so don't worry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I feel like they're just going to do that. Something interesting that did come up was that in 2013, a women's shelter in Grand Junction, which is like the nearest little town, they had over 100 pairs of shoes stolen. And so they think that maybe that has something to do with it, but I have no idea. It's just,
I mean, it kind of checks out.
yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? So I was like, okay, there are shoe weirdos, there are foot weirdos who aren't weird. You guys are fine. If you like shoes and feet, I mean, go off, queen.
Y'all sick as fuck.
Or king.
Blech.
Or
Creature.
Creature.
This is a kink shaming podcast, okay?
Okay. What other kinks do you want to shame?
Bestiality?
That's not a kink. That's just a crime.
Oh.
Poo-poo? Pee-pee? Throwing up?
No, that's fine, actually.
You don't mind poo-poo, pee-pee, and throwing up?
No, people can like those. That's fine.
I mean, but we're shaming, right? So, shame.
Yeah.
Shame. So you think that poo-poo, pee-pee, and vomiting is less shameful than high heel shoes and feet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever seen a foot? Ooh.
No. I don't know.
Good. Count yourself lucky. That's fucking gross.
I swear to God, I've said this before and I will say it again. I've known Dom for over 10 years at this point. I feel like I've never seen your bare feet in my life. You've always got boots on.
I don't know what's wrong with you, but you have, and I think you're blocking it out. Because we've gone to the river.
I don't remember seeing
in
your
the
feet.
water with you.
I don't remember that.
I used to basically live with you.
I can't even imagine. No, you were always wearing socks. You're always wearing socks or boots.
Yeah, but I showered sometimes. Like, come on.
I guess I've just never really observed them. I just would think like one day I was just like, I just don't think I've ever seen your feet before.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I know that underneath the feet or underneath the socks is just like more rolled up socks in the shape of a foot attached to your leg.
It's skin colored sock.
You know, even just the thought of you wearing sandals is like disturbing.
Shocking, isn't it? Yeah,
It is a shocking thought to have.
My mom made me wear flip flops out of the house once, and I fucking wanted to lose my mind. It only lasted like an hour, and I couldn't do it.
Like freaked out, fell on the floor.
Yeah, no.
Screaming and crying and pissing and shitting.
It'd be like going outside naked, like it's fucking not comfortable.
I have sandals, but they're like Tevas. And then I have like another pair of sandals, but they're like platform sandals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm going to wear sandals, it's going to be fashion. And there's nothing wrong with wearing flip-flops, but it doesn't feel like you're walking with shoes on. And I think maybe that's why people like it. But I also don't like my feet being out either. I feel exposed. If I could choose to not wear sandals, I definitely choose to not wear sandals.
Yeah, totally.
You know what they
We're
didn't?
getting off track.
Yeah, you know what they didn't find in the pond? Sandals. So let's move on. Or human feet.
There you
so
go.
let's
there you
go. Yeah. August 5th, there will be updates, which is tomorrow. So we'll see if there is any. I'll again put in a fucking edit to tell you how wrong I am. So, so other than that, we do have another update to get to. I did mention, I don't know, something or other about the Portland serial killer that was, happening. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I never knew what happened with that. I never even really looked into it or have heard about it, which is very like me. So I went back and I looked into it, and it is very fucking lots of recent events and lots of new information. So if we're going to talk about a serial killer, let's do it. If you are not from Oregon, or if you are from Oregon and you don't know anything about this, or if you just need a refresher like I did, the details are actually pretty fucking shocking to me. I remember when this was going on and being like, wow, that's crazy. And then I'm reading all this stuff and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. There's just no way. So, I mean, I feel like the first time I ever saw it, it was on TikTok or something. And I was like, ugh, I have to not look at this. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
The ultimate news source.
Yeah.
TikTok is the new Al Jazeera. That's my whole joke. That there's no punchline.
And Instagram Reels is the new Live Leak.
Live Leak.
Well, anyway.
Off topic again.
No, it's fine. I mean, we have a lot to catch up on. Anyway. Well, okay. So, yes. Portland serial killer. Here's some background information and timeline for you guys. And also just some information in general for you if you're not from Oregon, or if you're from even a different country or whatever. We discovered that we have listeners literally fucking in so many places. It's kind of
thank you.
Kind of crazy. Wild. It's amazing. I just don't even know how that works. And also thank you for listening to begin with, because holy shit. But anyway, Oregon is, just kind of any other place in America. There's a huge, opioid and fentanyl epidemic happening in this country. And there are a lot of people who are very much so in the most primitive throes of addiction that they, are not able to function in what I think a lot of people would consider to be an average state in society. So we have a lot of people who live on the streets, or they live in tent communities. When we talk about tent cities or tent communities, it's a very real thing. So, I mean, even where I live, when I first moved out here, there was a giant tent community that was fully functioning because it was right around the pandemic. And they were located near the fairgrounds, and they honestly kind of self-governed themselves, and they had access to porta potties and garbage, big dumpsters and stuff like that. And right before the Olympic trials or the track trials, they swept them. They swept the whole area. And I think that summer I found I walked by 2 dead bodies. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I never confirmed if they were dead, but I mean, I feel I know the difference between
a sleeping person and a dead person.
Yeah. Walking by a sleeping person and it's 100 degrees outside, or a dead person and it's 100 degrees outside. Anyways, that is the reality of, our current existence that we live in. So when we talk about people in this day and age who are victimized by people who are spree killers or serial killers, who aren't just out here committing mass murder, shootings and stuff like that, there tends to be a demographic that is always targeted, and that is people who are living on the street, or people who are in the throes of addiction, or people who live high risk lifestyles, or in really vulnerable situations. And that is kind of the situation that was going on up in Portland. It's not surprising. Portland is was at least at one time the sex trafficking fucking capital of the US. In 2013, early 2013, February 19th, the body of a 22-year-old girl named Kristen Smith was discovered in Southeast Portland. And then 5 more bodies of young women were discovered in the Portland metro and the surrounding areas. So all within about 100 miles of each other, dumped in rural areas outside of the city and off the sides of highways and like interstates. So on April 8th, Joanna Speaks was found in Clark County, Washington, which just is right on the other side of the Columbia River, not very far. And then April 24th, the unidentified body of a Native American woman found near Interstate 205 was discovered. And then on that same day, April 24th, Charity Perry was found at Ainsworth State Park in East Multnomah County. And then literally 6 days later, Bridget Webster was found in Polk County. And then on May 7th, Ashley Real was found in Clackamas County. So we're talking 5 bodies found in 30 days, plus Kristen's that was found in February. So, I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy. June 1st, less than a month later, the Oregonian publishes an article about the 6 women who were found dead, about how, you know, why is no one talking about this? Why, you know, 6 women have been found dead and nobody fucking cares, it seems like. And then 3 days later, June 4th, the Portland Police Department claims that they have no reason to believe that the deaths are related in any way. And then 2 days after that, a man named Jesse Lee Calhoun is arrested for a parole violation, a quote, parole violation by law enforcement. And he's like pursued by a gaggle of undercover law enforcement officers and a fucking SWAT team in Milwaukee, Oregon. Milwaukee is like in the Portland metro area. So, I mean, that's pretty intense for a parole violation. Then July 17th, the DA makes Calhoun a person of interest because they have positively linked him to 5 of the 6 women who were killed. Now, Jesse Lee Calhoun is a piece of shit. He's just a fucking total piece of shit with an extensive criminal history. Between 2003 and 2018, he was arrested and charged dozens of times for assault and harassment, drug possession, theft, kidnapping, traffic violations. And then in 2019, he was found guilty of assaulting a public safety officer and interfering with a law enforcement animal. I guess he was getting attacked by like a police dog, and he was like trying to not get attacked by a police dog, so he was like punching it in the face, which makes sense, but also like I think
that's assaulting an officer.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
He's assaulting a fucking police dog. Those little fucking bro. If anyone fucking disagrees with me on this, you cannot. German Shepherds are fucking Nazi dogs. And if you don't call them Nazi dogs, then I don't know who you are. I've never looked at a German Shepherd and been like, that's an all-American dog.
What are you?
Anyway,
I've never made that assumption about a dog, ever.
You don't think a German Shepherd looks like a Nazi dog. It just is. It doesn't even look like it. It just is a Nazi dog. It's just born that way.
Well, what kind of dog did Hitler have?
A fucking like German
a really
Shepherd.
Dog?
No. He loved German Shepherds. All the Nazis had German Shepherds. They were the Nazi dog. He painted German Shepherds. He killed himself with a gun that was loaded with German Shepherds.
Oh my God.
And then he ran away to Argentina.
To marry a German Shepherd?
Yeah. And that's bestiality, which is we're kink shaming that. So
kink shame.
He was found guilty of assaulting a police officer and getting attacked by a dog. He was guilty of that. And also for burglary and unauthorized use of a vehicle. I think he stole a box truck or something. So he was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison. And his original release date was supposed to be June of 2022. But in July of 2021, he was granted clemency and released a year early. And this is because he fought in the 2020 Labor Day fires, which if you were living in Oregon at that time, I mean, it was a total hell on earth experience. God, I can't even think about it. It was that bad.
Are you referring to that fire that went like all down the Mackenzie and stuff?
Yeah.
That's the one? Yeah, so every time I go to record IRL, I drive through this area that's just completely like devastated by that fire.
Yeah, it was for years. So. It still is, yeah.
It still is. They're just now trying to kind of build houses there again. It was a really beautiful area, and it still is, but it just totally devastated.
Yeah. It was really, really bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. So basically, he was part of a prison slave group that they use for firefighting in Oregon. And so he was part of that team that was sent there to fight in those fires, and which is obviously like really, really dangerous to do. And so they're like, let's just send the prisoners. And they fought it. So Governor Kate Brown granted clemency to a handful of inmates who fought this fire in 2020. And he was one of those people. So he was released in July of 2021, a year early, like 11 months early. So 17 months pass. And during those 17 months, Calhoun falls back into a life of crime. He's selling fentanyl, he's selling meth, he's selling heroin, and he's driving around, he's boosting, he's stealing catalytic converters, he's robbing people, breaking into fucking cars and shit, just like real piece of shit moves. So December 22nd, 2022 is when Kristen Smith is reported missing. And then she's found February 19th, 2023. So that's where we are now. 44 days after Kristen is found, Ashley Real is reported missing. 4 days later, Joanna is found. 16 days later, Charity is found. 6 days later, Bridget is found. 7 days later, Ashley is found. June of 2023, Calhoun is arrested, right? July of 2023, his clemency is revoked. They said, you get to go back to prison for 11 months. And probably about a week later, that he's named a person of interest for the 6 dead women. So May 17th, which is my little sister's birthday, 2024, literally like just a couple months ago, only 2 weeks before he was supposed to be released, Calhoun was actually indicted for the murders of 3 of the 6 women. Yeah. Charity Perry, who was 24, Bridget Webster, who was 31, and Joanna Speaks, who was 32 years old. They believe that these 3 women were all killed within a 50-day period. So right now, they're not necessarily calling him a serial killer. They believe that he is a spree killer. And Joanna is the only victim whose cause of death was made public, which was blunt force trauma to the head. And her body was moved out of Portland and then dumped in an abandoned barn in Washington. I think the only reason why her cause of death was released is because she was in a different state. They did not consider her to be related, but she was. So he's charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder in May and 3 counts of second-degree abuse of a corpse. And when we're talking second-degree murder, it's a murder that doesn't have any kind of premeditation, and it may have been intended to cause harm rather than death. So that's what makes it second degree. Second degree abuse of a corpse, which I've never really understood what abuse of a corpse means because it's different in every state. Like, for instance, in Oregon, first degree abuse of a corpse is dismembering or like necrophilia, like really intense stuff. Second degree is basically someone intentionally abusing a corpse, treating it as in a way that's not considered suitable by other members of a profession or that's not recognized by community standards. So it's like, for instance, like burying a person is abuse of a corpse, or dumping them, transportating them. It's that kind of shit. So second degree abuse of a corpse makes sense if he's killing them and then dumping them.
Okay, yeah.
So that's all that they could do for those 3. There are 2 other victims that are still being investigated, which is Kristen Smith, who's 22. She was the first one found, and then Ashley Real, who was 22 as well. She was the last person found. And of course, the 6th woman that we haven't really been talking about, her death was ruled to not be a homicide. So they're not considering her to be related to this situation, which isn't great. I mean, I feel like now they're not, maybe, I mean, I'm sure they're still looking into it, but it's just like, she's just still an unnamed Indigenous woman, like, who was pretty much like pretty quickly, oh, we don't know who she is and she's not related. So, and like, I haven't heard anything about her again. I literally was trying to find information about it today and I couldn't find anything.
It's nice and dismissive, you know?
Yeah, super nice and dismissive. Literally the only thing I could find was the first fucking article about her being found. And that was it. So that's that. So the other two women, like I said, they're still being investigated. It's very complicated while simultaneously not being complicated. Every single one of the bodies was found in different counties, all over the place, in a different state even. So every single one of the homicides are being investigated separately. So that means that they have to be indicted separately. So I think that they're trying to flesh out as much as they possibly can for Ashley and Kristen to get a better case. I'm thinking second degree murder and second degree abuse of a corpse is probably the best that they could do for Charity and Bridget and Joanna. Especially since they literally indicted him 2 weeks before he was supposed to be released. So yeah, I mean, I think that they had to just strike as quickly as they could. They were like, fuck it.
Yeah, whatever they could get.
And also we have to take into consideration that like he would not be getting indicted if they didn't fucking have a case. Like you don't just indict someone being like, wait, let's just keep them in prison a little bit longer because we have to like maybe see if we can charge them. It's like they have evidence. They have a case for 3 of those women. So, you know, they have a case. He's publicly, some of his comments have come out to the public where he's saying like, they don't have any evidence on me. They just want someone to blame. It's like, well, you've been indicted on 3 murders. So I think that they have evidence, you fucking moron.
They might have something.
A lot of this can actually be given, what is it called? Credit to his girlfriend, his current girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, whatever the fuck she is. She's also a fucking loser piece of shit. Her name is Krista Seener or Siner. I don't know. But she's a fucking dumbass piece of shit too. And she spilled the beans about a bunch of stuff about him. They had only been dating for a year and a half. They had initially met on Facebook. She was homeless at the time. They got together and they got to know each other. And she just kind of like really aired out some of their laundry about how he had anger issues and he could like be set off by something as simple as like stubbing his own toe. He had thrown her onto the bed once. He had pushed her around multiple times. He was also, she said that he was also aggressive in bed, but not dominant. And he would write on her body with like a marker and would write stuff like whore and bitch and like slut and stuff like that. They had also like used like some kinky kind of stuff like handcuffs and shit, which is like, ew, kink shame. Handcuffs are gross. Don't be, handcuffs are cop adjacent. So
True.
ACAB.
That's true.
ACAB.
ACAB includes roleplay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And also ACAB, AKAB. All kinks are bastards. Or
all kinks are bad.
All kinks are bad. But basically, like, if she didn't really want to do something, or if she was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want you to like do this thing to me. He'd like get mad at her. He'd get like, maybe not mad at her to the point of like beating the shit out of her, but he would get like actually like, oh, bleh, like pissy.
Like pissy.
So she did say that he was like a sex addict, that he needed to have sex every day. And Krista said that she would find videos and pictures on Calhoun's phone of him having sex with other women all the time. It was constant. She was always finding pictures of naked women or videos of him having sex with them or like X, Y, and Z. So there is evidence that has been released to the public that Calhoun knew 2 of the victims, and that was Ashley Real and Bridget Webster. Ashley Real, whose death is still being investigated, she had actually dated Calhoun, cheating on his girlfriend with her, and he had sent her like threatening text messages. It was just all bad. And then he's like threatening her, and he's just a fucking piece of shit. And then also, according to Krista, Calhoun's girlfriend, she says, or she assumes, that Bridget was trading sex for drugs. That's how she said that she had never met Bridget. She knew Ashley well, but she had never met Bridget, and she knew that she was, giving herself away for drugs. Okay. Krista's a fucking piece of shit. I don't fucking care how she displays herself to the public now. She recently did an interview where she's kind of like acting all meek and like she's a victim. Like, this bitch is a fucking piece of shit. She protected Calhoun in her home and said that he wasn't doing anything wrong when he was fucking selling fentanyl and meth out of her home where her kids were living. She's acting like she wasn't fucking getting high on fent and meth like he was, saying, oh, he's not a drug addict and I'm not a drug addict. I just do Instacart. It's like, dude, you're fucking lying. You're a fucking piece of shit. Like, I fucking hate this bitch because she just really made herself out to be like better than these girls who were fucking killed. Like, well, at least I'm not selling my body for drugs. It's like, I don't think you have to sell your body for drugs. Like, your drug dealer lives at home with you and hangs out with your kids. Ugh. You're not better than them because you weren't fucking killed by him. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And you're all the fucking...
And because you're not a sex worker. Like,
yeah. And it's like, I get it. You're a victim too. But like, she straight is just out here like halfway defending him, halfway victim blaming. She's just, fuck her. Fuck Krista. Half of me wants to believe the things that she says, and the other half of me wants to denounce them entirely. Because she does tend to say one thing and then backtrack, like saying that like, oh, he never did any drugs. He wasn't on drugs. But then said something like, oh, well, sometimes he would think the police were following him and it was just because he was too high. I'm like, well, bitch, make up your fucking mind. Is he high or is he not? Are you high or are you not?
He was high on life.
He was high on life. She's like, he was so good with kids. He like loved my kids. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you loved your kids when he was, selling fucking fent and killing these women. Let's get away from Krista. Let's talk about Ashley. So Calhoun and Ashley were having an affair, right? They met on Tinder. Ashley was 21 when they met, and Calhoun was 38. Krista says something like, at first I was mad at her, and then I couldn't be mad at her because she's the same age as one of my kids. And I was like, interesting. I wouldn't be mad at Ashley. I think I'd be really fucking mad at my boyfriend for having sex with a person who's the same age as my kid.
Maybe, yeah.
Disgusting freak. Disgusting freak. Krista said that Ashley was a prostitute and that he recorded him and Ashley having sex all the time and that he would drive her around while he was boosting or dealing. She doesn't explain why. She just says that he would just drive her around. And Krista recalls there was a time when Ashley called her because Calhoun was banging her door down, but doesn't really explain why he was doing this. And also, according to Krista, Ashley told her that Calhoun didn't love her and that it was only sex. Ashley said, oh, he doesn't love me. He only loves you. He only uses me for sex. Yeah. And then when it comes to Bridget, like I said, Bridget and Krista didn't know each other. Krista doesn't know who Bridget is, but she knew that Bridget was probably selling her body, just having sex for drugs. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. This is like the most disturbing thing. This like really, really bothered me. So Krista claimed that she found images as well as like a 10-minute sex video of Bridget and Calhoun on his phone. And in the video, they're in his car and she's talking about how she doesn't shoot up anymore. They're mostly talking about drugs, I guess, but she's saying like, I don't shoot up anymore. But she's like holding a needle in her hand and then like gets high. And then I'm assuming that they have sex afterwards. And or before. I don't know. But the worst part about this is, like, I know it's a sex video, but she said that she was entirely naked for the whole video and in the pictures, getting high. And then she's basically having not necessarily consensual sex with Calhoun. It's just disturbing. On top of it, Krista says that she knows that she saw this video and these pictures of Bridget sometime between April 11th and April 13th. And then Bridget's body was found on the 30th of April. I mean, that's not good.
No.
And there are also other women who are missing still in this area. And no surprise, these are all women who, you know, also live high-risk lifestyles. Bad things happen. Like, bad things happen. And we don't really have to get too much into it. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to be found not guilty, especially if they have evidence on him. And then also, like, Krista, fucking moron, she said that the police came to her house with, like, search warrants for her and for Calhoun and for 2 of the victims. And that they took clothes and, like, patches of the carpet and stuff, because she says out of her mouth, this was, like, aired on the news, that, like, the police came one day to take samples because they found DNA on one of the victims. And it's just like, that was not really, like, public knowledge. And she just, like, said it on the news. So, I mean, she's a fucking dumbass moron piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that she knows a lot more than what she's leading on. I think that she knows her boyfriend was, like, way more involved. Fuck her, dude. Fuck her. Fuck Jesse Calhoun. We'll keep you guys updated with that. It's just disgusting. Obviously, you know, we gotta touch on it.
I do want to switch topics to something a little more lighthearted and celebratory, you know, praising.
I mean, I don't know if praising is the word, at least on my side.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, we're going to talk about the new film Longlegs, which we were both very much anticipating.
Very.
And we sure have thoughts.
Hell yeah, we have thoughts. Legs. Mommy.
Well, you...
Daddy.
So you wrote out this kind of, like a questionnaire for us both. And it kind of goes over different sections of opinion, basically.
Yeah.
We have, like, a first impression section, execution, the plot, all that stuff. And we're going to go through all of it.
Right.
But do you want to tell me first about Longlegs for anyone who isn't familiar with the movie?
Yeah, if all you guys are fucking normies who haven't heard about Longlegs yet.
Dude, even normies know Longlegs. So many people saw it at my theater.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. So
it's still playing.
It's still playing. I go to the Metro here. I think it came out on July 7th.
Believe so. Yeah.
It was like around that time, maybe the 8th. But it was directed by Oz Perkins, who is the son of
Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
He starred in Psycho as Norman Bates.
He was Norman Bates, yeah.
Yes.
And it's starring Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. It's a horror movie. At least they say it's a horror movie, but I thought it was more like a thriller. Anyway, it's about the synopsis online says that FBI agent Lee Harker, Michael Monroe, is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again.
That's a pretty on it synopsis. Oh, and by the way, spoilers. Many spoilers.
Oh yeah, we're not holding back. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I mean, figure it out on your own. No offense.
Or just watch it.
Or just listen to what we have to say and then watch it.
That's more important.
Sure. So Rotten Tomatoes is 85%. Rotten Audience is 60%. Google, 74%. And IMDb, 7.1 out of 10. So pretty okay ratings.
It's such a shame because when, before Longlegs hit, like wide release, like in theaters, the Rotten Tomatoes score was at like 100% for a hot minute.
Yeah.
They like were putting that in the ads that it was at 100%. And I'm like, God damn, that's awesome.
They were also
but I
saying
see
things
it's
like, it's
dipped.
the scariest movie of the 21st century. I saw something like that recently. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Which it's certainly not scary.
No.
There's a couple jump scares in it.
That doesn't count as scary.
That's it. No, it's not scary at all.
First impressions, go.
So for the marketing and the trailer, in my opinion, the marketing was so complex and detailed, and done with a really deep level of care, to a detriment. I didn't have time to delve. I mean, there's like subreddits made, in just like decoding and investigating this marketing campaign, and I didn't have time to delve into all the shit. And it's so involved, and I think everything that you learn from kind of researching the marketing materials, it adds a lot to the movie upon watching it, but I didn't know any of the shit. I didn't have time for that. So it would probably enhance the viewing experience if I was familiar with all these little tiny intricate details, but
Right.
I didn't. I just came in and watched a movie. And I also think the marketing obviously gave a really different expectation to audiences. Like all the shit that you said of like, it says it's the scariest movie of the 21st century. Like, people are crying and throwing up because it's so scary. And
They're
here's
shitting
Micah
and
Monroe's
pissing
heartbeat when she sees Longlegs. Like,
Yeah.
it really made it out to be something that it isn't. And I think marketing it differently as more of like a Silence of the Lambs type, crime thriller, would have caught the kind of niche that they were looking for. I mean, I think they did find their target audience, but I think they found a lot of people they didn't intend to as well.
Yeah, I mean, so when it came to marketing and targeting, marketing and trailer for me is that I just saw the very first teaser trailer that was like 40 seconds of the Every Year There Is Another, which is it's like literally just a picture of a family, a mother and a father and a daughter, and it's just zooming in on like the kid's face, and it's a phone call, a recorded phone call of the father saying there's something wrong with my daughter. I saw that and I said, I'm not watching anything else.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm so torn because the marketing was so brilliant. I thought it was so fucking cool. Everything drew me in, and I didn't want to know anything else. They told the perfect amount, if they had kind of delivered what they were selling.
Right.
Because the marketing was insane. All the teasers and the trailers were so fucking good.
Yeah. Crazy guerrilla marketing too, where like with the phone number you could call, and it's Longlegs.
I loved that.
Just shit like that. Just really like super immersive and lots of forced engagement with it. But then like you said, it's like for those people who are going into the movie not participating in any of that, that should not affect the way that they view the movie, in a sense where the marketing and all that all that stuff should not fill any gaps. It should be extra. It should be clues. You know what I mean? It should be connected, or Easter eggs. It shouldn't be like, well, because I didn't participate in this guerrilla marketing campaign, then I actually am not going to understand the story to the fullest. And that's kind of the argument that I've seen online, where people are like, I just don't really get it. And people are like, well, did you even do the thing? And it's like, why the fuck do I have to do the thing to understand how good the movie is?
Well, I mean, I disagree to an extent, like, because I do think that all the marketing stuff, all the like extra information and the website and all that stuff, the articles, I think that is more just like supplementary.
Yeah.
When you watch the actual movie, I feel like you know enough, because I still don't really know what all the marketing shit was about. I never got into it. after watching the movie, I watched a couple of YouTube videos and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, how that kind of connects more dots and tells you more backstory. I didn't feel like I wasn't able to understand the movie because I guess the point of the movie is that it's a mystery, right?
Right.
And there are things that you don't know about what happened in these murders and who is Longlegs. And I felt fine with that. But on the other hand, I didn't feel fine with that, and I wish I knew all that stuff. I'm really back and forth on a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think that it should just be like Easter egg shit. Like,
right.
I just feel like I've seen people online saying, well, maybe you would just get it more if you actually like looked at this thing, or maybe if you actually paid attention to the marketing, like then you'd actually get it. And it's like, bro, no.
I mean,
it's just like, I think that it makes it better. Like once I watch the movie and then I look at the marketing, I'm like, oh, duh, bitch. Like,
Yeah,
but,
I mean, maybe for an average, Marvel movie watcher, Joe Schmo, they might not get it. Not to be like elitist and weird, but I don't know. I felt it was coherent enough. I knew everything I needed to know just from watching the movie.
Marketing wise, obviously, I think both of us were really impressed. Trailer, I was really, really impressed, but I took a step back. I was like, if I watch anything more, it's going to get fucking spoiled for me. All I know is that phone call from the dad, which, you know what, I'll just insert like a fucking clip of it, like here.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my daughter. I gotta be quiet.
Sir, can you stay on the line with me?
But it's not my daughter.
Yeah, like that phone call that I heard in the trailer was enough for me to say, I'm fucking dipping out. Like, I'm waiting for this to get released. I saw the images, like from the released images and stuff, the promotional shit, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to pursue this. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I didn't want it to get ruined. I think that no matter what, it would have ruined it, even the stuff that I saw accidentally. 100% Rotten Tomatoes, blah, 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 like we said. So, first impressions, the first 10 minutes of the movie. What did you think?
I loved it. The first couple minutes, and especially the very introduction, just the beginning, with the T-Rex quote at the beginning, and then how it has that like smushed aspect ratio and it's red and then it goes to color really slowly when he's driving the car. I thought it was really, really great. And then like the partial like quick reveal that's like practically a jump scare, and then there's a huge sting with like the title screen. I loved that. I thought it was so cool. I thought it was super effective.
So effective. Me fucking too. That I loved it. Like you said, like the old 70s ratio. And then she's like looking out the window. There's a little girl. She's looking out the window and it's all snow white. Everything is like white and rural. And she just sees a person in a car. And then all of a sudden she's outside and there's no one in the car, right? And there's stuff in the background. There's all this shit happening. There's echoing and sounds, and there was so much atmosphere and so much suspense in literally nothing, like in nothing. And like you said, like the totally red, blasting red. Blasting. Yeah. That's all I can describe it as, just blasting red. The fucking jump scare, everything is crazy. Like,
I definitely was like, ooh.
Yeah, I was like, ew.
In the theater, I loved it.
What the fuck? Yeah, and then I literally jumped out of my skin. And then we open into like the beginning of the movie, which is FBI agent babies. They're like not FBI agents yet. I think they're in training. And they're supposed to like buddy up and go to houses because they're looking for a different serial killer. And little, she's the only chick in the room. She gets like paired up with this guy who's like, don't worry, I'm a man and you're a woman, so you can sit in the car and I'll go check out some shit. They're basically just going door to door or whatever. And long story short, he makes her like fall back, and after she gets a psychic sense that she knows which house the killer is in, and he gets his head fucking blasted off. Like,
oh yeah, he's like, oh fine, I'll go knock on the door if it'll make you feel better. And he like just knocks on the door, and immediately the door opens and he gets point blank shot in the fucking face.
Shot in the fucking face. Yeah,
It's so metal.
He doesn't. I don't even think he even says anything. It was just, that was another thing that I loved. Like, it just, I was just like, I didn't know I didn't expect it. I think my mouth literally opened in like a gaping maw. Like when that happened, I was like, oh my God. Cause I literally was just like, they're just hanging out and it's really, really quiet and it's like kind of raining, and he's like, well, if you, I don't think he's in that house, but I'll go check it out. And the thing is that the angle of it too is just, he's standing in front of the door, but you can't see the door that's open because it's like around a corner. So you don't even see a gun.
Yeah, the corner's like obscuring it.
Yeah, you don't even see like a hand holding a gun or anything. He's just standing there, and then the door opens and he just gets fucking blasted in the face very quickly. And then the inside of that house is very strange too. It's like
plastic sheeted and like empty.
Good first impressions. Really good first impressions. Really impressed with the marketing at first. All the marketing that I saw, which was very little, I was very impressed by. My score, for first impressions section, I said 10 out of 10 graves.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I was literally so fucking like pumped by everything, and I was not let down by the opening at all.
I put an 8.5
out
of 10 because I was so overwhelmed with the marketing, and I was worried I was going to miss out on something.
Oh, God, I mean, that first teaser trailer itself was a horror movie.
Yeah, I would definitely say the marketing was scarier than the actual movie by far.
Yeah. I mean, they put their whole ass pussy into that marketing. Let's be real. Like, whoever did the marketing for Neon needs to be, like, promoted or something, because that shit was fucking scary. When it comes to concept, I'll let you go first.
Oh, sure. So, I mean, obviously spoilers, like, it doesn't matter. The concept I thought was really good because it was a new kind of a mix, in my opinion. I don't often, I mean, I've seen a lot of like horror movies. It's like mainly what I watch. And I thought the idea of like an investigative crime thriller, cult horror, I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a good concept that hasn't really been done in a super interesting way. But I know a lot of people saw the paranormal aspect as like a cop-out.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much everyone I've talked to is like, oh, when it was like a devil made me do it thing, I just like totally lost interest. And I'm like, okay, it's because you're a fucking square, but all right. Not necessarily new, but something that I like the idea of. I don't think it's done enough.
So I guess when it comes to concept for me, I felt like it was a little awkward. It was kind of mashed up into one movie. Like a lot of really great ideas, but it just felt like too much. I just somehow felt that even though it was something that was new and different, it felt tired. You know what I mean?
Really?
I really felt like it was tired and cliche somehow. Like crime detective meets horror suspense meets paranormal demonic mischief. It just like didn't work for me, I think, as much as I wanted it to. Mm-hmm. And people, I know a lot of people have been comparing it to Silence of the Lambs. It's what I'm seeing the most. I don't understand that. That's not my opinion. Silence of the Lambs is one of my favorite movies. It's also one of my favorite books. So No, I just think no. And like, I just think maybe it's frustrating to me because I don't get it, but I really want to get it. I feel like a lot of people are saying a lot of things and I'm just not like picking up on that same thing.
Yeah, I think the comparison comes, one, from lack of other movies for context.
Yeah.
A lot of people haven't seen a lot of movies, and we've seen a lot of movies.
Right.
Especially in these genres. And so I think there's like that lack of context that where they're like, oh, the closest thing I've seen to this is Silence of the Lambs, right?
Right.
But I think it's just like the crime investigation, like the kind of dark themed murder investigation of like female FBI agent. That's their connect. That's it.
Literally. And even though this is not a common thing, I feel like I've been seeing, but I feel like I might as well just mention it because it's not where I stand. I've been seeing a lot of people being like, why is Longlegs just a trans bash? And I was like, what? Because I think some people think that Longlegs is supposed to be a trans person. And he's not. So don't worry. It's not a trans bash. But
no, not at all.
It's weird that people would say that and then compare it to Silence of the Lambs. Because that's also like another misconception with like Buffalo Bill. It's that Buffalo Bill believes that he is trans, but he's not trans. And that's like very much so established like in the book and also in the movie is that, yes, he's killing these women to make a female suit, but he's not a trans person. Like he's just a fucked up person. So it's weird to me that people are like, he's wearing a dress. It's like, he's wearing a gross fucking bathrobe and he has long hair and he sings T-Rex. Like, trust.
People said he was wearing a dress in the movie?
Yeah, that when he was wearing a robe in the convenient or in the hardware store, someone was like, he's wearing a dress. And I'm like, that's not a dress, dog.
Yeah, if you're fucking blind, it might be a dress.
Yeah. It's weird that you would think that that person is a trans person.
Yeah, I think that says more about the audience than it does the...
Yeah. Well, let's move on to your final thoughts about concept.
I thought... So you think it's tired, and I can see why you would think that, but I thought it was just, like, straightforward and fun. Like, people said it was a cop-out, that it was, like, the devil made me do it kind of storyline, but I thought it was just, like, uncomplicated, in the way of, like, how they say sometimes the answer is just the most obvious answer. Devil shit.
Yeah.
Duh.
So let's talk about storyline and pacing. I did feel like the pacing was okay. Like, I didn't really feel lost for the most of it. This could just be because I'm a fucking dumbass or because I just didn't watch the marketing. I don't know. It took me a fucking hot minute to realize that this took place in the 90s. Because like I said, I did not watch any of the marketing. I went into this with no idea. I was like, why is there Bill Clinton on the wall in every fucking one of these offices? I did not... I'm so fucking stupid. I literally didn't even put it together that quickly. I was like, that is so weird. Why is there Bill Clinton on the wall? Because he's the fucking president, you idiot. That's why. And then I was like, oh, it's the 90s. I feel like my opinion should just be null and void because I didn't fucking think of it. I didn't realize that. Like, you know, but I think it was just meant to be context clues because, like, you know, in the very beginning in the flashback, it seems like 70s-ish. You have like the station wagon, you have that style of house, she has the kind of garb on, and she has the old style camera. Yeah.
And then it flashes forward, you know, away from her and then to another woman. So, you know, that's her, you know, 10, 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then I guess just like the setting would give the context, I guess.
Yeah.
The setting, and then like, you know, the little stuff like the huge Bill Clintons everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I think another thing that they could have done is maybe just, I don't know, a better wardrobe. How do you mean? I just don't want to sound rude, but like just a better wardrobe in general. I mean, I felt like it was all kind of diet 90s. And that like is something that I'll talk about again and again and again later on, which I'll just fucking mention now. If you're gonna do camp, then fucking do camp. Like, that is really how I feel. You said it was playful in a way. There are some parts that are fucking crazy over the top with Longlegs, and it is fucking campy. So why not just be campy the whole fucking time? Even if you do look at a movie like Silence of the Lambs that was filmed around that era, the wardrobe, comparatively, you could have done more.
I thought it was really straightforward 90s. I find that interesting. Like, everything Micah Monroe wears is not modern fashionable. It's very...
You think so?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, maybe it is in like the retro way? Question mark. We can get to it later in execution.
Yeah. Let's just get Let's get
I
through
thought
storyline.
I thought the pacing was fine.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to drag.
Mm-mm.
And I didn't see any twists coming. Like, I wouldn't have guessed a lot of it. I mean, I knew there was like devilry involved, but like,
Yeah.
dude, when he came out of the basement, or no, when Agent Harker is knocked out and then wakes up in Longlegs' basement dwelling and then goes upstairs and it's her mom's house, I was like, yo.
There were some things where I was like, oh, okay. I didn't see that coming. I think the predictability was like the other things. Like, as soon as that little girl was like, my birthday's next week, are you gonna come to my birthday? Like, I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
like she's gonna fucking get like long-legged. Like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, it was...
I almost just saw that kind of thing as foreshadowing and more just like, hinting, not so much as like meant to be a twist with like a magic reveal. You know what I mean?
It's hard. It's hard for storyline because the things that I was surprised by were things that I didn't expect to be part of the movie. Like, I didn't realize that Longlegs was going to be a doll maker until they were literally spelling it out and he was making a fucking doll. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, oh, the dolls. There were some things where I was like, okay, and now Satan's here. And now it's dark magic. And now it's dolls. And now it's like evil nun. There were just things that were happening one after the other that I think was kind of wearing me down in regards to like feeling tired and cliche somehow. I guess it was kind of all over the place for me storyline wise, but pacing made sense. Somehow, I know that kind of sounds weird, but like pacing, I didn't feel lost, but storyline, I just was like, am I missing something? Okay. Like, I guess I'm still here for this.
Fair enough.
Towards the end, I think I didn't really care about what was happening in front of me. I think that has other things to do with like the characters. So let's just move on to the characters.
Yeah. I thought the characters were, I mean, other than Longlegs, I'll talk about Longlegs in a second.
Yeah.
But mom character, fine. Really basic motivation, whatever. She's fine. Detective Harker, fine. Fine idea. I like that she was psychic. I thought that was fun. And it made sense. It's in a cult devil murderer.
Right.
The good thing you have a psychic on your side. It's very convenient, falls into place. Longlegs, I think it was really a bummer that there wasn't much of his backstory and like motivation shown. I mean, it's expressed like devil stuff, but like I wish it had told even more. I understand that he's supposed to be a mystery, but I liked the character and I wanted to see more of the character.
Yeah, I agree. I basically wrote down the same fucking thing because Longlegs, I feel like, did deserve to have a lot more time. And if we want to compare, again, like everybody wants to compare to Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo, we knew 10 times more about Buffalo Bill than we ever did about Longlegs. Like, there's even the part where the chick is helping him into the van because he can't get the fucking chair in the van, and she's helping him, and they don't show Buffalo Bill's face. He's wearing a ball cap. It's like pulled down over his face. You only see a little bit of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be this very ominous, enigmatic reveal to show someone's face. I think that Longlegs deserved way more time. I wanted to know way more about him. And I think that they could have just as easily kept his face, a secret. Like, they did a lot of the time throughout the movie, but it's like, I just wish he had had more screen time, way more screen time. I feel like some characters were really good. Some characters were really fleshed out. And obviously, I feel like Longlegs was the first of them all. I mean, I think he had the most love put into him, obviously. I don't like that Lee Harker is this like mousy, fearful, yet brave, awkward, autism-coded type of character that has become somehow very popular. It's just not interesting to me, and it's so surface. It's very, very surface. I think it takes away from her. She didn't have a personality. She wasn't interesting. She had no depth or backstory other than being like the daughter of like this woman who's equally as fucking annoying to me. I felt like the mom was really annoying as well.
It's funny because I disagree a lot with most of the things you just said.
Really?
Yeah. I think I saw the character of Lee Harker as being more, I thought she seemed confident. I thought it was realistic that she would often be not outwardly fearful. I didn't find her mousy. I just thought she was, it's scary to be psychic and be an FBI agent.
I guess that makes sense.
Given what she does for a living and what her family life is like, it's very isolated. She's not like a very friendly person. She doesn't want to do small talk. She doesn't want to do pleasantries. I thought that was fine. That might be the difference in our viewing experience is I just took it face value.
Yeah.
Totally face value. I was like, yo, she's psychic. Yo, she got the cipher. Oh my God, it's the devil.
I think I was getting way too caught up in being like, this is like unrealistic. And unrealistic in ways that are not like, I think what people would expect. I wasn't like, oh, this is unrealistic because of a serial killer who's practicing black magic, who worships the devil, is like killing all of these families using like dolls with like metal brains that make people kill. I didn't think that for a second. I was like, damn, this is so unrealistic. Like, I could totally decipher that fucking easy. And also, this is not Oregon. I was like, this is the farthest thing from Oregon. There's like 4 people in it that are not white. And then there's one gay guy. I'm like, it's 1993. You know that that's not true.
Yeah, no, that's not.
That is not true. I'm just going to come out and say it. Like,
I was the first. Did you know this? I was the first gay person of color in Oregon.
There's like the part where they're like coming to like apprehend him at the bus stop. I'm like, tell me, where does this rural bus stop exist in 1993? Because my city didn't even fucking have buses, local buses, until fucking 2010. Like,
yeah.
Show me, girl. I feel like for plot, concept, pacing, characters, like, I think that I'm kind of all over the place. I think that a lot of it, I'm lost in the sauce. For a lot of it, I didn't even know it was the fucking 90s. Like, I don't know if my opinion even matters here, but my plot score was 5 out of 10 Graves.
So I said 7 out of 10.
Oh.
Because it is basic. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Susan. Basic, but it's fun in the simplicity because it's easy to follow because it does everything for you. And I think the thing with you were overthinking it. You thought it was going to be a lot more subtle than it was.
I think
realistic.
That's what I'm used to. So
right. Well, and a lot of the like quote unquote elevated horror out there, like these kind of like neon A24 movies, they are more like that.
Right.
And this was just like, here it is.
Right.
just stupid shit.
Yeah.
But I thought that made it fun.
Production and direction. I thought Oz was amazing. Really. I think a lot of his work is really, really good. Like, for some reason, like I said before, the movie felt like there were too many cooks in the kitchen, while simultaneously it was like everything. Like, I knew that it was everything that Oz wanted. Obviously, like, production was coddled for sure. They were putting their money where their mouths are in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I mean, execution wise, in my opinion, except for maybe the wardrobe could have been better.
Yeah. I think the kind of in the same way of the marketing. I think everything was done so deliberately, and so with intention behind everything.
Yeah, execution. Everything is so purposeful. I mean, he really had that like laser focus. I think he did everything he wanted to do, and I can appreciate that.
This article that I read, it was about like how people think the Longlegs character is like transphobic,
Right.
or making a trans person into like a villain or a creature or whatever,
Right.
which is just dumb. But this article talked about how Osgood Perkins makes his movies through this lens of his own experience being Anthony Perkins' son. And the thing about Anthony Perkins is that he was a closeted gay man. He ended up dying of AIDS.
Yeah.
He was a closeted gay man who was married to a woman, and they had Oz, right? So he has this public figure father who's playing straight with his mother kind of shielding the world and the son from this information, right?
Yeah.
Or from this identity. And if you think about it, that's the experience kind of a closeted man or, an othered person who's looking for some kind of caring figure and just doesn't want to be alone and feeling isolated. And then you have Longlegs, which kind of tells the story of this kind of like black cloud over everything. And then you have this like accomplice mother,
Right.
who is helping keep things secret.
Yeah.
And not that his father being gay was a bad thing, but it's like it was just this blight, you know what I mean, on their life.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's very interesting. I know he's a very thoughtful director.
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen from him is gorgeous and smart. And I really enjoy his movies. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting, and I didn't even know that shit about Anthony Perkins before watching this movie.
Yeah. Did you know his mom died in 9/11?
No.
She was flying the plane. No, she was a passenger. She died on the plane. One of them.
Oh, she actually did.
Yeah, she actually did. Yes. She died in 9/11. She flew into one of the towers, I think. Well, I don't think I know. No, I mean,
sorry, Osgood.
Sorry, Osgood. That sucks. Like, your dad's gay and your mom did 9/11.
Damn. That's the American story.
Literally. No, I mean, and even the same thing, Nick Cage did a interview where he talks about, kind of channeling his mother for the role of Longlegs. And like throughout this interview, he says when he speaks about Longlegs, he says he, she, like he or she, not a he, she, but he says he, she, because he's talking about Longlegs and also his mother. And he's obviously been to a lot of therapy, because he says something that I think is the nicest way possible to say it, is that he says, my mother was touched with mental illness. And he, like, all of like the way he talks and like everything that he channeled into that character is his mother. 100%. He said it was just her. Like the way that she would talk and the way that she would say things, like when I think about that, it's not necessarily Longlegs talking like that, but it's like a mother, it like kind of is chilling, because it just does sound like a neurotic, hysterical mother. Like it really
absolutely
does. So yeah, a lot of people have been, basically the takeaway of this is it's Oz and Nick's movie about their parents.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
It really is. I mean, and like I said, like I thought Nicolas Cage's performance was so insanely good, and I felt like I just really like, even with what you said about like Oz talking about his dad and stuff, it's like it's it's a lot deeper, I think, than people anticipated in that sense, which makes me feel like weird because it's obviously like well thought out, but then for some reason I'm just having a hard time like getting it.
That's fair.
But I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I need to watch it again. That's the fucked up thing, is that I need to watch it again and get a better idea of what I'm watching. Because you said that you watched it twice, right?
I did, yeah.
And it was different the second time?
A bit. I would say it was different in the things that I noticed that I hadn't noticed before. The first time I watched it, I saw the shadow of the devil maybe 4 times. Watching it again, paying attention to the background, he's in like more than half the movie. He's fucking everywhere.
Really?
It's crazy how often.
Yeah. Well, and also
I was like blown away by how many times I fucking caught him. I was like, oh my god, he's been in this whole fucking movie. I didn't even know.
Just in plain sight.
Yeah.
I need to go see it again very badly. Oh god, and that kind of even adds to the whole thing where it's like he's always there. Like he's always there. Doesn't matter. Like that shadow, that dark shadow is always there. The reason why everything is happening will always be there. The reason why everything is the way it is always there. Ugh.
Yeah.
We love the devil here.
We do.
Go devil.
Devil fan.
Devil fan.
For my performance notes, I'm going to read exactly what I wrote.
Okay.
And then elaborate.
Okay.
It says, Nick Cage shined in the moments where he was wild, but underwhelming during interrogation scene. Could have been played even higher and turned up a ton.
Wow.
So the parts that he was in, besides the interrogation scene, I thought were great. His body language was fucking weird. The way he spoke was fucking weird. He's singing. He's shrill. He's screaming in the car.
Right.
And I loved it. And then you get this interrogation scene where you can kind of you can get down to the nitty gritty and see like what he's thinking, what's going on, what is this? And it seemed really
like he's not saying anything.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it seemed elementary in a way that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, just really base devil worship cryptic shit, I guess.
A little cliche, yeah.
Yeah, cliche would be a good word. And also his acting in it was not over the top in the right way.
Yeah.
Where he's like, he's like rocking back and forth and like kind of rocking in a circle. It's like, yeah, crazy people do that. But I mean, in this instance, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of cliched, and I think could have been a lot spookier.
Yeah.
Especially with those, like, the way it was shot, it was like head on him, head on her. I think it could have been a lot more intense, and it wasn't.
Yeah. I would have liked it if it was just like camera on his face and then like the back of her head. And like that's it.
Totally.
Like I don't even gotta fucking see her face. I don't even want to see her fucking face. Like that's not I get to see her face for the rest of the fucking movie and the whole beginning of the movie. Like I don't need to see her face right now. Especially since the interrogation scene is not very long.
No.
And then it ends in a crazy fucking way with him like smashing his face to bits on the table all on his own. Yes, me too. I loved that. But then I also was like, it's over? Like that's it? He's dead now? Like he didn't even say that much. Like you're right. Dialogue wise, script wise, I felt like it was very artistic, but the delivery was fucking weird. And I was like, why is it delivered so weird? Is that intentional? Like Oz fucking wrote it. Like, so, and directed it. So it's like, why are some things delivered so in a way that I would expect them to not be fucking delivered? You know what I mean? Like just
right.
just not
And not in the like the crazy person way.
no. Like
In the way of like this doesn't make sense for the character.
yeah. Like yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it's all up to him. I'm sure that if I watched it again, maybe I'd get a better idea of why. Like even towards the end when Harker's mom is like telling her the story, I was like, God, like this is so fucking boring. Telling the story in this voice. It was just like so fucking boring. I was just like, bruh. So there were some things that I was like, okay, but I thought cinematography and audio was like insane. Like I thought it was all very like fucking phenomenal, atmospheric, strange, like, and then when it came to special effects, oh my God, like there was so much that was so good. Like the makeup and the prosthetics on Longlegs was fucking awesome. And I feel like a lot of the gore and a lot of the other stuff was all very practical. I thought it was a whole lot of blood splattering and like props and shit like that. But then there were some parts that I saw where it was like CGI blood spatter. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like specifically in the perspective of the family killing with the priest and shit like that. I don't know if it's because they just
the camera family.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because they just didn't like capture like enough blood in that moment, like from that perspective. But there are all these parts where they CGI'd in all of this blood spatter. And I was like, no, like, don't do that. Like, don't show me like the best fucking like decapitated head of a cow and fucking Longlegs smashing his face to bits and, you know, fucking the FBI chick getting her head blasted off in the car on the window where it's like literally just like an explosion of blood. They don't show anything crazy gory except for like a huge explosion of blood. It's like, and then you're gonna CGI like blood spatter, like knock it off. Just do practical effects. Like it makes it way better. It's cornier. I love it. Other than that, I thought cinematography, audio, and special effects were fucking popping their pussy.
I disagree on some points. Cinematography and audio, love.
Yeah.
Love. Wouldn't expect anything less from Osgood Perkins. Because I keep telling people, I didn't want to see that Gretel and Hansel movie because it was, you know, a PG rated like horror movie. I was like, this is going to be stupid. And then I ended up getting it on Redbox and I was like, what the fuck? This is beautiful. Like, this is a gorgeous movie.
Really? Because I haven't seen it. I refuse.
Yeah, no, it's a really pretty movie. And I liked it purely for that, for like the vibe and the look. I thought it was a really good looking movie. And I do tend to like just like movies based on how they look.
Yeah.
I'm shallow.
No, I think that's fine.
But an interesting thing though about audio that I heard in an interview with Osgood Perkins, the sound guy was like, did not know how it happened. When Nicolas Cage would like scream and get shrill, he would hit just before it blew out.
Oh my God.
And consistently every time he would hit just before it blew out. So it was maximum, but it never blew out. And then in scenes where he was quiet, it would hit just the bottom before it bottomed out.
Whoa.
And I thought that was so cool. I was like, damn, Nicolas Cage. Okay. Work, bitch.
Dude,
fuck.
The audio in that movie, the fucking everything about it is insanely amazing. I would say above everything else. I don't know how. It's crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. Like the loud, deep fried, crazy audio, like that is synchronized with his screaming, that's bleeding in and out, that they do every fucking time. Like so fucking loud, scratching like the inside of my head in my brain loud. Like that shit was, I like couldn't believe it.
Yeah, his like artistic vision and most of the execution is just, I mean, it's so good.
Osgood does just have like an amazing vision, right? His view through his lens is great.
I did write for special effects. Nothing special or crazy. Nick Cage makeup was weird. Would be better if the look was addressed. Explain theories I've read. My main question when I finally saw his face in the movie was like, why does he look like that? Why is he puffy? Why does he have like all this makeup on? Like, what's the deal? One of the theories was that he, Longlegs, sold his soul or was possessed by a demon like long ago when he like wanted to be a rock star or whatever, right? He loves T-Rex. So long ago, he sells his soul so he can be good at guitar or whatever. And he gets possessed by a demon, specifically Baal. And a thing about demon possession, traditionally, is that over time, your body will like erode with like long-term demon possession.
Oh.
And so if he's been harboring this demon for like 20-something years, or what was it, 30 years, 20 years, he's going to look fucked up. And I think that is why he looks like that. That's one of the theories that I've read, is that he's just bodily fucked up and his skin is sloughing off and he's swollen and bloated like a corpse because he's demon possessed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that makes sense to me. But how would you know that? Because when people watch the movie, they're like, oh, he's trans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but okay.
I just looked up Baal too. Just he is. It says that he is described as a hoarsely voiced king with the power to make men invisible and ruling over 66 legions of demons.
Right. So that's kind of the connect. I forget if there were other things in the marketing that hinted specifically at Baal, but because I didn't do the research, I just read the theory. Becoming invisible and making these things happen. Yeah, he's like just sending in these dolls. He's not even there, you know. Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah. No, I think that's super interesting too, where I was kind of thinking about Hereditary. Whereas Hereditary is not necessarily Hail Satan, but it's Hail Payman. Because they don't worship Satan. They worship Payman. So it's like the Satanism thing is tired, but also people are like, oh, it's a satanic panic thing. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It very well could just be Baal. I wonder if they are going to do another movie. I wonder if there's going to be more explained. There's so much room to do it, but yeah, you're right. Probably not.
Yeah, I was talking with someone about this. I was like, man, I wish they would make like a Longlegs backstory, like an origin story for how he got like this. The person I was talking to was like, no, we don't need that. Like, we know everything we need to know. And I'm like, God damn it, you're right. If you think about Osgood Perkins, he made the movie exactly how he wanted, with all the information that he wanted to give. And he's like, if you want to know more, here's the marketing. Crack these codes. If you want to learn more, there's your information. And then you get the movie, and that's all you get. And I think he has the kind of artistic integrity where he wouldn't just make an origin story movie because people want it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I just want to see more.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I want to know more. But I think he told everything he wanted to tell about the character Longlegs.
I wish there was more ball stuff. You know, like cock and ball torture.
And oh wow.
Bad joke.
I don't think there was a single genital in that movie.
You know what? Actually, I was going to say no molest.
There was no sexual content, which I enjoyed.
Loved it. I was afraid there was going to be molest.
Really?
Uh-huh. There's always some sort of molest when it comes to murder. The things are they go hand in hand, like anxiety and depression.
It's a beautiful
love intertwined. Depression and anxiety together. No, I mean, it's just, with all murder is inherently a sexual experience for people who kill. So I thought maybe for sure there was going to be some sort of molest happening, especially since it's happening to little girls. I was very worried. But no molest. Just kill.
Yep. You know, you can rob souls of purity in other ways.
Right.
Then, you know.
And not molest the dolls either. The dolls weren't molested either.
No. He gave one a little kiss when he made it. He said, good job. Kiss its head. He didn't say good job, but you know what I mean.
What about that part where the family is like self-annihilating? You remember? And the mom is naked and she's like...
She's not naked. She's in her undergarments.
She's in her undergarments and stuff. The whole like thing with the blade, and she's like running it up her like cesarean scar, and like all this like
And
crazy,
like stabbing the doll.
yeah, the stabbing of the doll. That was like the closest thing that came to like molest, was like her stabbing that doll like that. I loved that scene. And then there was like the CGI splatter. I was like, fuck. And then also the black cloaked figure with the fucking face underneath the cloak.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
I love
fucking scary. It was very unnerving. The scariest thing about, I think, the movie was that, because it was
Agreed.
very much so like there was something so wrong about it. I don't know what it was.
So sinister. I loved it.
It was like just fucking pure evil. And that kind of brings me into experience, style, and aesthetic. I mean, we know where I stand on this. Like,
Yeah, same. My notes just say see above cinematography section.
literally. Yeah. I just want it to be campier. I like that it has these really muted, washed out, almost dirty color palettes that we see a lot in horror movies right now. That was very like intentional in comparison to these really insane like scenes of just like blasting red. I think that every single set was very purposeful. And at first I didn't see that, and now I do see that. Like the more I think about it, like we talked about Harker's cabin, I was like, at first it's just fucking weird. Like the light, like it's just like even like a Lincoln log kind of looking cabin. Vibes and atmosphere. Of course, I kind of felt like it was more of a suspense thriller than a horror. Does it feel like a detective or true crime aesthetic? Yes. Does it feel like a religious horror? No. I think there could have been more crying Virgin Marys and cherubs and that kind of shit. But that doesn't change my opinion on it being like good or bad. I'm not going to be like, well, it's not actually a horror movie. It was still really suspenseful, I think, in a lot of ways. At least carrying my attention and also making me feel like something's going to happen. Like these long drawn out shots of Harker, like even in the foreground, and then the huge background where you're like waiting for something to appear or someone to be there, and I don't see anything. Like I just don't see anything. Like there was that part in her cabin where that's happening, and I'm looking in the background into like the dark void of her fucking house. Like I was waiting to see something, and then a knock happens instead. I didn't feel like it was that scary, but I didn't feel like it was boring either. Scary as in horror. What about you?
So like for atmosphere, aesthetic, I really like it. I like that era. I like that look. I like the kind of retro occult kind of thing that it brought. I thought all of the sets were accurate. I thought that the vibe was accurate. Like when they're investigating initial murderer who's not Longlegs, they pull up in this clean, cold, rainy, gray suburban neighborhood that could be, like Tualatin or, Gresham, anywhere.
Right.
In Oregon. That could be any suburban neighborhood in Oregon in the 90s. And then same with like her cabin where she lives. It might be exaggerated that it's like so deep in the fucking woods, but it's just to communicate that she's isolated and in the woods. Like it's all really intentional. And having seen other Osgood Perkins movies, I have to assume that everything is obsessively deliberate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
But I like the vibe.
Yeah. Experience-wise, score for me, I said 5 out of 10 graves. I left the theater feeling just sort of like, yeah, that wasn't the scariest film of the 21st century, but I definitely was like, yeah, like it wasn't bad. I think the worst part for me is that at the end, I think I just didn't feel as like connected to the characters. Like experience score definitely is not as high as I want it to be. Like
Sure.
Atmospheric, like there were lots of vibes, very atmospheric style and aesthetic. Do I think things could have been more campy? Yes. Do I think things could have been more religious horror? Yes. Do I think that there are some things that I missed or some things that I expected to be there that weren't? Yes. I think that is a consumer problem. I think that's more of a me problem. Like my opinion is not above anybody else's. Like I said in the very beginning, I'm a little frustrated with myself that I don't get it.
No, that's fair. Obviously, like I said, I was taking it at face value, but the average movie watcher, and a lot of movie watchers anyway, aren't going to do all this research from the marketing and aren't going to make all these crazy connections to just get it. I don't think it's super accessible. I don't think it's meant for everyone. I don't know.
How did you feel when you left the theater?
I was satisfied mostly because I was like, okay, that's the movie. Alrighty, fun. And I was like, yay, Nicolas Cage. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not hard to please. But I obviously I wanted more. And I really wish I had seen it alone. Not like just me alone, but I think watching it in a movie theater was a mistake. I usually watch things at home, and I only saw Longlegs in the theater because I was like, fuck, I want to see that. But I think it would have been way better if I was at home, just like watching it with my partner and not in a fucking movie theater with a bunch of people where they're making reaction noises
Yeah.
and like getting up, walking around, eating candy. I'm like, dude, can you shut the fuck up?
Did people laugh?
Yes.
I felt like weird
and-
because I didn't laugh at anything because I didn't think anyone was supposed to be funny.
I laughed at a couple things. I laughed when she was forced to go in and meet
Oh, go in and meet the fucking her detective's family or whatever.
yeah, when she was like just forced. She's like, do I have to? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And like she just has to follow him.
fucked.
Even though that's obviously not her shit and she's not there for it. But she just has to. I thought that was funny. I thought at the state hospital when they're like, oh, we don't check IDs. We probably should though. Like that made me laugh. Same with the part of when she's questioning the girl at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you dirty flirty bitch, I could rip your heart out. I'm like, what? Like,
Oh my God.
that made me laugh. I love Kieran and Shipka, by the way. Oh, and my score is 6 out of 10
Oh, okay. So we were pretty close.
for experience. Mhm.
Yeah. 6 out of 10 graves. 6 out of 10 radios. I guess like my overall pros and cons, I'll go over them quick.
Do you want to go over just pros first?
Yeah, let's just do pros. So pros first at least. So pros for me, when the violence was violence, it was violence. Sound specialists worked their pussy off. Nicolas Cage was amazing in it. I love him. I'm sick of people being like, LOL, when did Nicolas Cage become a good actor? He's been doing good movies
Always,
for a
bitch.
fucking while, okay? You need to figure it out, okay? Have you seen Mandy? Go watch Mandy.
Oh, fuck. I love Mandy. I need to rewatch it.
This is something that's interesting. This is like the one thing that I was like, whoa, which made me think. So, pro, I loved the mom's hoarder house because it was an accurate
Same.
depiction in which only someone who has ever lived in or seen a hoard house can understand and recreate. It was a recreation that I was not expecting.
Also, quick question. Did you see the doll in the hoard pile?
No. God.
Yeah, I saw it the first time and I was like, oh, ew, creepy doll. Because the dolls weren't revealed yet when it was shown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time that I watched, I was like, yeah, that's the doll. That's, yep.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it was just like in a pile of hoard.
Yeah.
Just the face.
Oh my God, that's even worse. And then she's
Yeah.
like, everything's in your room, and I haven't touched
Yeah,
it
she's
since
like,
you
I
left.
keep everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she goes into her room, and it's totally like clean, nothing
Oh my God.
touched.
Wait, I have one more thing that's like a Easter egg
Oh,
that
okay.
I kind of learned about.
Yeah.
So to do with like keeping everything. So one thing I didn't notice when I watched, but I heard in a YouTube video, all the families that were involved, they all had the same red toy piano. And
Oh.
there is an old, I think it was a Russian folktale about this old lady. She would sell these red pianos that were specially made. You open them specially, only she could tune them. So she like leaves her contact information with the people when they buy it.
Oh.
And when you play the piano, there are these tiny, tiny needles in the keys that you can't tell that are stabbing you.
Oh.
And it's collecting blood into the piano. And when you need to tune the piano, eventually you call this lady, right? You can't get into it. Only she can tune it. And she says, oh, I'll do it for free. I just have to be alone. And she opens the thing. She withdraws the blood in whatever receptacle. She tunes it and she goes. And she just does that for every piano. And I thought that was so weird. I was like, is that what that is? Is that a reference to that fucking like obscure folktale? Like, what the fuck?
I'm literally trying to find something for you right now because I saw someone talking about this as well. The fucking Rorschach test that she did after
being tested for psychic.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the answers that she had where they're just like, just tell us what you see. Like,
oh yeah, it had piano. Yeah.
Yeah, it had. What were the answers? Just show me the answers, you fucking dumb ass bitch.
Oh my god.
We're sorry. Please remain on the line.
Oh my god, TikTok. It's gonna be like, shut up.
I'll kill you, TikTok.
I'll fucking kill you. Oh, literally, here it is. It's the answers that she gives in order is camera, table, legs, tiger, door, mother, father, piano.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, camera is like her camera. Table, don't know.
Or the camera family.
Or the camera family, yeah. And then she also has the camera. She takes the picture of him. And then table, not sure. Legs, makes sense. Tiger, I feel like has something to do with Harker's partner's daughter. I feel like she's holding like a tiger toy or something. I feel like it's something like that. It's weird that you do bring up the piano thing because I know that when she's upstairs, there's the piano sitting right there and she does touch it. She's like, dee. So
I think it's like not necessarily a metaphor, more literal of like how Longlegs or like the devil just keeps taking and taking your life force. Thought it was cool as fuck.
What are your other pros?
I said stylish, interesting, and fun. And then fucking Nicolas Cage. Like,
yeah.
I love pretty much everything he does, but like I was so excited for every time he came on screen. I was like, yes, he's here. And then like it made me go on like a Nicolas Cage movie bender. Like immediately.
You're like, I need more of him.
And yes, and it made me see one of the best movies that I've ever seen, Vampire's Kiss. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, long time ago. Have you seen Birdie?
No.
I
don't think I've heard of it.
I should probably rewatch it. I don't know if it's any good, but I think he did it when he was like 19. So I think it was like one of his first ones. Raising Arizona, of course.
Nice, yeah.
We love Nick.
We do. I'm thinking about getting because on Amazon, it's only like $60 to get a life-size Nick Cage standee.
Let's get one. You can get it, and I'll watch. But
I'll watch the interaction.
So let's do cons super quick.
Go for it.
I'm super quick. A little tired, cliche, half-baked concepts, in my opinion. At times, it felt like a thought hadn't finished before a new one was introduced. That could just be me. I said that Harker was a tropey weak lead and I didn't care if she lived or died. I don't know when I wrote that. That seems a little bit aggressive, but I don't know. And then of course,
I will fucking kill her.
I'm like, I don't care if she fucking lived or died, but I did feel like I said a billion times, could have gone full camp. I appreciate exaggeration regardless of the theme. At least like in Midsummer, like Midsummer is blinding. Like everything is over the top. Everything is blinding. Everything is white. Everything about it is Midsummer. So it's like, why not just go like all in? Like you're already like serving, so like serve more. And then last con is I actually did a weird comparison here, but I felt like it kind of made sense to say that everything was so not Oregon that it almost felt absurd. And actually, like a movie that perfectly encapsulates Oregon as a vibe, which allegedly is supposed to take place in Oregon, is Antlers. I don't know if you ever saw that Wendigo movie, Antlers, but that's supposed to be in Oregon. And I feel like that is the most realistic, in a sense, Oregon movie that kind of portrays it in a I guess maybe similar time period and horror aspect. So
yeah, fair.
But there were just some things that didn't make sense, and when I think about it not making sense, it makes sense because it's not supposed to be real. So I get that. Cons for you?
I said that the marketing, despite being genius, was too involved.
Yeah.
Because the deeper you get, there's these like specific old occult texts and dark magic books that you can fucking research. There's like specific pages referred to. There's websites to hacker man into. Like, it made me bummed out that I didn't have the time to invest in that shit. The way that it was marketed as a horror movie, I feel like I count myself lucky because I don't think really anything is going to be scary, even if people say it's the scariest movie of the 21st century. So, like, I wasn't too disappointed. But a lot of people went in expecting, like, a horror movie, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's a thriller. It's a mystery thriller.
Yeah.
And if it had been advertised exactly as what it was, I think it would have hit the right marks with people.
Yeah.
I also said that Nicolas Cage should have had way more opportunity on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I understand why not, because he's like a boogeyman mystery kind of character, and that's like part of his appeal or whatever. But I wanted to see him do way more crazy shit. Like, this is obviously not a man who is well.
No.
And I want to see him do unwell shit. Because he's good at it, dude.
Yeah, for real.
He's so good at it. I love him in Mandy. I loved him in Vampire's Kiss. I was laughing my ass off. He's so good when he goes wild.
He's a wild guy.
I wish I'd seen it more. He totally is.
Ugh.
And the last thing, I think it would be way cooler if the mom wasn't doing all of that to save her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been cooler if she was just a Satanist.
You know what? I fucking agree. Why has everyone got to fucking be twisting her arm and being like, she's forced to do it? No, just make her fucking evil. Like, why can't she be evil too?
No, because so much of like the motivations and stuff of everyone is so like straightforward.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's the cop-out. I think the cop-out is like, oh, I had to do it for my daughter. When it could be like, yo, no, I just am a Satanist.
Literally.
I think that would have been so cool and funny.
Well,
like,
and also it's
I would
like,
love that.
Even in the interrogation, he says something like, me and her laughed and laughed the day that we found out you're going to be a police officer. Something along those lines. Yeah. And it's like, you think mom is laughing because she's being forced to do this against her will? She's not laughing with long legs. Like, I think that she very well probably should have just been a fucking devil worshiper. Why the fuck not? I'm highly critical, even though I highly misunderstood the movie. I still gave the overall rating of the entire movie, considering everything I said, a 7 out of 10.
Hey,
I think that most people who watch it will like it. I think it's a 7 out of 10. Really?
Yeah, it's an entertaining movie.
Yeah. I mean, my opinions about how it could have been better, about how it could have been more camp, and how much I don't like Harker, and how it's not Silence of the Lambs, doesn't mean that it wasn't like a fun movie that people would enjoy. Do I think it's the scariest movie? No. But is it a good movie? Yeah. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 graves.
You're like 0 out of 10 was not Silence of the Lambs.
Was not Silence of the Lambs. I think I'm just I don't know. I'm not like a difficult person to please. I don't know what my fucking problem is. I just think that I need to watch it again. I think I need help. I think I need I need like a doctor. I need something.
No, you don't.
I need to watch it again. I don't know what happened.
I need my medication before I can watch this.
Me and Zach, literally, we go see movies with each other all the time. And he's a great person to go see movies with too. I don't know what my problem was the whole time. Like, I don't know. So
I
I said
think you
7
had
out of 10.
Like I was saying earlier, I think you had a really set expectation and you were thinking so hard.
I had an expectation because I thought it was going to be a movie that it fucking wasn't. Because I literally watched a 40-minute, not even watched, I listened to a 40-second fucking trailer of just a guy going, it's not my daughter. And I was like, oh fuck, like that sounds so good.
Right. Yeah, it totally came off different.
Like
that shit's not even in the movie. Like,
no, it's not. It has nothing to do with anybody. It's not even anyone that they mention. Like, yeah, it's literally nothing. So, like, that's where I think I fucked up. I probably should have watched more trailers. I had no idea what it was about. No,
you didn't
idea.
even look up like a synopsis?
Nope.
You crazy.
I knew that it was about murder and that's it.
I guess I always like when something comes out, I like always look at the synopsis, so that kind of sets me up. But
well, like, do you remember when Hereditary came out and it was like, oh, I think I know this is like about like they're being haunted by like someone, you know what I mean? Like there's something happening, like someone is being like they're being haunted or someone's being possessed or not even possessed. It was there was something happening in that sense where there was a conflict happening from a death. And yeah, I thought it was going to be like a ghost movie and it fucking wasn't that at all. It had the whole payment aspect with like the invading people's bodies and possessing them and fucking reborn payment, whatever. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like, but I mean, it was good. It was actually really, really good. It was probably one of my favorite movies. I prefer Hereditary over Midsummer.
Yeah, me too. And weirdly, that's like not a common take.
I don't know why.
People love Midsummer, and I'm not a huge fan of it.
I hate Swedes.
That's true. I don't like you very much either.
I just, yeah.
You're like Scandinavian and stuff.
I mean, like, I'm
like, ugh.
I tell people I'm Scandinavian in a sense where, like, I'm, like, Swedish, not, like, from Sweden, but I'm Swedish, like, from Minnesota.
Oh, my God.
Like, because, like, my relatives who were immigrants, like, literally were just, like, alcoholics and farmed snow and dirt.
Nice.
Like, that's what I am. Minnesotan. Minnesota Swede. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a Minnesota Swede, okay?
Like, if
We're
I ever went to Sweden and I was like, I'm Swedish, they'd be like, okay. They'd be like, cool last name. Nobody cares. Like, you're not Swedish. You're an outsider.
Oh my God.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm from Minnesota. They're like, wait, that changes everything. You are Swedish.
You're
my
real.
God. So awkward. Anybody?
You're a real one, G.
Anybody who, okay, I'm not even going to get into it, but.
What?
Oh, just anyone who's like, I'm a Viking. I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
Oh my God, don't get me fucking started.
Shut up. You're
It is
not
too
a Viking.
late at night. I will. Did you ever watch The Northman? Quick question.
Oh my God. Zach has been writing my ass about that because I haven't seen it yet.
It's so good, dude.
Okay.
It's really good.
I'll watch it. Oh yeah. Speaking of Robert Eggers, Nosferatu.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
We should watch that together.
Fuck yeah.
I have all kinds of thoughts about the trailer that I've seen. I'm disappointed in the trailer.
Oh, I like the first teaser trailer. It's like 45 seconds where it's just like no real sound, but it's like the choir going oh, in the background, and that's it.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I'll send it to you. I watched it earlier.
No, the actual trailer is like so not the vibe.
You don't think it's vibe?
No, I feel like it's so I don't know, it doesn't look as bleak as it should.
I feel like it looks plenty bleak.
Nah.
Okay.
It looks fine. I like the shot like the silhouette of fucking Nosferatu and the dog. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Or the wolf, excuse me.
What about
Too
the guy who's
colorful.
chopping off his wiener?
I did like that.
I don't know if that's
I
what
did
he's
like
doing, but that's kind of what it looked like, did it not?
Something like that. Flagellating.
Oh my god, it really looks like he's chopping up the ween.
Chop chop.
It's coming out on Christmas.
I know. Christmas is gonna be a good day for me.
Yeah.
Because it's time and a half, so I usually work like all fucking day.
Yeah.
Which I love. Honestly, because money. And then probably on Christmas Eve I'll go fucking watch Nosferatu.
Yeah. Me and Zach will probably go see Nosferatu.
So, do you recommend Longlegs?
Sure. I mean, I recommend it. 7 out of 10. I think that if you like, I don't know. I guess because I don't want to be like, oh, if you like crime movies, here we go. Here's something I have to say. If you like The Black Phone, you will like Longlegs.
Dude, The Black Phone was fucking dumb.
Well, it's fucking true crime and paranormal.
But see, that's why Longlegs is better.
Okay. Well, then.
Because it's better.
If you liked Black Phone, your dick is going to get rammed the fuck off, like smacked down into the dirt. You're going to be so fucking surprised and hard from watching Longlegs.
Your boner is going to get so full of blood, all the blood will drain from your brain and your heart and go straight into your balls.
Yeah. And then your balls are going to
die.
explode and your dick is going to like pop off like a fucking like rocket.
Like a missile.
Like a missile, like all because of all the blood. Yeah. Like, you know, when they put like a Mentos in a fucking 2-liter and they put the cap on and they throw it on the ground. Yeah, that's going to be your dick blasting off into the sky. Yeah.
Damn.
We know it happened to us.
Yeah, I've been dickless twice. I had grown back my one, and then I went and saw it again. I was like, oh god,
and it flew off.
Sucks. Yeah, it sucks. But
it's okay.
You know, it's worth it.
It was worth it. Well,
best jizz I ever had.
Best jizz I ever had.
Best nut I ever busted.
Best nut I ever bust.
She long on my legs till I T-Rex.
Oh, I remember I saw the picture of Lou Reed up in the corner of the mirror the first time we were in the red room, and I was like, "What is Lou Reed doing here? Why you gotta involve Lou Reed down here?" Well, that was before I figured. That's before I realized that there was gonna be no molest. So I was like, "Damn, is he gonna witness something?"
He's gonna witness something.
I was like,
I mean,
no.
he does witness
I'm
things.
like,
but...
oh, you like Lou Reed? How can you be bad?
You're all right. Anyway,
Okay.
thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. This has been so long. I might pop off somewhere in here and be like, "Hi guys, it's Amber. We recorded for 4 hours. So this is going to be the end of part 1. Part 2 will be up in Tuesday." Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should do more movie reviews because they're fun.
I like doing movie reviews too. There's so many movies that we've seen that are really, really good and deserve to be reviewed, and ones that are going to come out that will deserve to be reviewed. So let's keep doing movie reviews because I do think they're very fun. We'll do them in Evil Airwaves. We'll just do movie reviews. Evil Airwaves is going to be our impromptu.
It's now our anything stream.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, why not? It doesn't have to be serious all the time. You guys have to... I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The series that we have coming for season 2 are ball busting.
That's true.
Ball fucking busting. Like, I just finished a huge series, and it's not even the fucking Poltergeist series that I'm still working on.
It's hardcore. Your documents are fucking hardcore right now.
Like, I mean, I just feel like I'm writing a fucking master's thesis. Fucking 50 pages for Indigenous Heritage Month. Like, a fucking episode a week. For every fucking week of November. And it's not like a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes...
It's hardcore.
It's a little hardcore. It's getting a little bit hardcore. And, I mean, ask and you shall receive. But sometimes it's nice to do a movie review.
Yeah, we'll do more. We'll do more shit.
Yeah. And I think it'll probably be good for you guys too. Because then that way we have, like, what? Season 1 was November, December, January, February, March. It was like maybe 5 months. I was looking at the calendar today. Right now with what we have, we're looking at going all the way into July of 2025.
Hell yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. And I do be like working my fucking ass off over here too. Like,
you do.
I'm about to go to Montana though. So Zach said I'm not allowed to work in Montana though.
That's fair.
I understand. I can't argue with him. So
you're not allowed to.
I'm gonna secretly do it on my phone.
Don't.
I'm gonna write some random stuff. I'm gonna send you some documents about some little topics that we wanted to do for Shallow Graves. So anyways.
But before we get too far, thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you for listening to this Evil Airwaves, maybe part 3. We don't know.
I'm not even part 9.
I'm not even giving them episode names. It's just Evil Airwaves. You just pop in for the broadcast because we're here and we're queer and we're like making it happen. And yeah, our dicks are rockets and we're like serving cunt and like you're just gonna have to slay if you're here. That's how it works. Okay.
We're also serving opinions about films and media and art.
And all of our reviews are, at least on my side, I guess I just don't get it. I guess I'm just too dumb to get it. It's not Silence of the Lambs.
I guess I'm just an idiot then.
I guess I'm just a fucking idiot because it's not Silence of the Lambs, which is my favorite movie, which it is, actually. Dude, I think it is.
That's fair.
I mean, I went to bed watching it for like 5 years straight.
Dude, the company that I work for, on your name tag, you put your favorite movie because it's a movie theater, right?
Uh-huh.
What would be on yours?
Silence of the Lambs.
Goddamn.
What's on yours?
You know what's so funny? I have a friend that hers was Silence of the Lambs on her because she is obsessed. I have two name tags. I have one that says Funny Games, and I have one that says Santa Sangre.
Oh, damn. I guess
good choices.
Okay, so I guess my first one would be Silence of the Lambs. My second one would be Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know.
You're on some gay shit, dude. Are you like a homo? Sexual?
I mean,
or are you just a vampire?
Well,
which is the same thing.
Well, I saw Interview with the Vampire when I was too young. I remember watching it over and over and over and over again, and just feeling something. There's a lot of like very homoerotic sexual undertones that I didn't understand, but I was fucking getting. It was
making its way to you.
It was like rotting my brain. It was like poisoning me.
And that's why you turned out the way you did.
Yeah, which is so weird. It's just there's something about watching two men almost kiss for like an entire movie. You're just like, interesting. I'm like 6 years old.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
This is interesting. I'm going to watch this 100 times. Unsupervised.
I wonder if there's something I could look up to find more of this kind of content on the internet.
I didn't know any of that existed at that time. But I don't know. I mean, it must have been around 9/11. So
excellent timing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Osgood Perkins. Jesus.
Don't fact. I mean, I don't know if that's a fact. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Probably.
Fuck
okay,
it.
We gotta let him go.
Even if it's not a fucking fact, your mom did 9/11. Osgood Perkins' mom did 9/11.
Don't say that.
I just
God.
did.
Okay.
Or maybe she didn't,
Cut it off.
and I'm apologizing. Okay.
Cut it off. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
To part 15.
It's probably fine. All right. Love you guys. Goodbye. Good night. Catch you next week. Catch you never. Bye.
So long and good night.
So long and good night. Love you guys. Bye, Dom.
Bye.
Bye.
At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere. It is speculated that these objects are of extraterrestrial origin. The broadcast will quiet at this time for your safety. Continue to carry out the following instructions.
Radio Grave is hosted by Amber Byland and Dominique Makasuya. Music courtesy of AOA Music, Carl Casey at White Bat Audio, and intro music by Simon Bickbyler. Audio mixing and editing by Amber Byland. Logo and cover art by Dominique Makasuya. All other media and sound clips used are protected under fair use and are for the purpose of criticism, commentary, news reporting, education, and research. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.